In an era of dwindling sources of financing, where WHO receive about 80% of their budget from voluntary sources and only 20% from member states, how do you hope to make WHO viable and successful without increasing member states' quota contributions?
If we can please continue with the way we were working, so I would ask Dr. Tedros, I believe, to answer, and if we can be as concise as possible as well, so that we can have as much participation as possible.
Thank you. When it comes to resources, I would worry first about the global, the funding we need for the global health agenda. All the resources we need to make progress in the priorities that we have, universal health coverage and so on. So meaning the money that really goes to address the challenges we're facing, because it's more than WHO. What WHO gets is really a fraction of that. So I would like to actually focus on that bigger envelope and do my best as Director General to increase the funding that was allocated for the global health agenda. And then the WHO one comes second. And WHO, within that, I think raising the funding for WHO may not be difficult. But I would start with creating value for money, focused on high-impact priorities and using the resources on these high-impact priorities. So creating value with the resources that you have at hand. And I did it in Ethiopia, by the way, where meager resources are available, but the burden is heavy. We achieved almost all MDGs. What I'm talking about is not a talking point, it's my life, and which makes me different also. So we can add value for money with the money that we have at hand. And the second is we should expand the donor base, because that would also help WHO to be independent, WHO to have the ownership. So that's very important. And the third element is, of course, some of you may not agree with me, but since WHO belongs to member states to ensure, for countries to ensure ownership, if it belongs to them, they should pay resources. Meaning, assessed contribution should increase. I need to be honest with you. If something belongs to us, we invest in it. Simple. And that has to be taken seriously also. But in addition to that, we can design ways or innovative financing mechanisms to finance WHO. But I think the financing issue should be taken seriously. And in summary, all of us should worry about the bigger envelope, and then within that, a subset, what goes to WHO. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tedros. Dr. Nabarro.
Thank you very much indeed.
Sí, ¿no? ¿Alguien nos puede ayudar con el tema de los micrófonos que cambiaron? Dr. Sania, could you please turn yours off? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So first of all, number one, I've never had any problems with raising money for anything. I've got a few challenges right now on the cholera outbreak in Haiti, but I'm confident that we will be able to get the money we need to get cholera out of Haiti. But on everything else, it's not been a problem. And the reason is that on every single issue for which I've been involved, I've demonstrated impact and I've demonstrated value for investment. I believe, first of all, therefore, it is about the transparency with which the organization is able to show what is achieved with the money that it has, and the demonstration of that to the whole international community, so that at least the voluntary contributions, which have been stagnant for 6 years, start to increase again. There is not a global shortage of funding. The Global Fund had a replenishment of nearly 13 billion in Montreal last September, and there is money available. There are going to be some challenges with certain countries being rather selective on what they say they're prepared to support, but we'll deal with that. The second issue relates to how money should be spent. Too often we focus on the things that are perhaps not the most important. For non-communicable diseases, For many challenges related to social determinants, it's time to spend money on the causes, which often means spending money differently. Investing in education, investing in water and sanitation, making sure that the climate agreements are properly fulfilled. That's how we'll keep the world healthy. So let's look at number one, value for money. Number two, more money from the voluntary contributions. And number three, just checking to see that we're not missing obvious ways to spend less money to get better outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nabarro. Dr. Sania.
Well, thank you. So WHO's fiscal policy, I think the first thing I would like to do is to gain the member states' trust. So I will make tangible action to, in terms of transparency of fiscal management, and in terms of a concrete measure. WHO has a web portal up and running currently where budget information is given, and I've already committed that I will put expenditure information on that portal in real time rather than updating it on a 3-monthly basis. So firstly, trying to get your trust through real, tangible transparency measures. Secondly, there is one aspect of the fiscal problem you referred to in terms of the imbalance between the assessed and voluntary contributions. There is also another problem which relates to its WHO's over-reliance on a few donors. So I would like to move forward on a new resource mobilization strategy. I would like to professionalize that function, back it with appropriate advocacy and communication strategy, and I would like to stretch the limits of innovative financing. I would, for instance, go for a solidarity financing compact, because if WHO's fruits of benefits in terms of keeping the world secure from emerging threats of infectious diseases benefits everybody, then everybody should have the ability to contribute. And right now, WHO does not have the instrument which allows anyone other than the member states to contribute, and I have a stated commitment to put in place a solidarity financing compact. I will fast-track WHO's pre-qualification process to tap into climate change funds. I will tap a higher donor base, and I would approach a number of different value for money approaches, because for me they mean a number of tactical and strategic things. So tactically, value for money could mean less printing, less travel, more use of teleconferences, better outsourcing, better contracting, but at a more strategic level, value for money means stepping back from roles where others have a comparative advantage, better priority setting, leveraging better partnerships, using collaborating centers better, using South-South collaborations better, and I would like to utilize this full realm of abilities. And I have committed in my vision document that I will, within 30 days of assuming office, make a task force innovative financing so that we have advice from the best experts who have expertise in fiscal policy to expand on these ideas. And of course, this will happen with member states' concurrence and with member states' input.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I'd like to thank the Vice Minister of Guyana for your question.